Well, well, well. And here I was worried that maybe the Browns videos just wouldn't quite be the same this year. You know, they're going to have a good team. They're going to be winning a lot of games. You know, I wasn't quite on the Super Bowl hype train, but I thought for sure, yeah, they're going to start out 1-0 finally. Got the Titans week 1 at home. Penalties, penalties, penalties. I mean, all day. Not necessarily bad calls. You know, that early call on Robinson, some kind of blindside block or something. I don't know what that is. Who's that guy? What is that? An eagle? Who is that eagle? Who is that eagle back there? The big son of a bitch right there. Well, anyhow. So Robinson then later on got ejected. He's the starting left tackle who's questionable. The offensive line was the most questionable thing coming into this game, I guess. And then he gets ejected, kicks a guy in the face. That was just the type of penalties they were getting. Myles Garrett had a dumb one. You know, several defensive holdings, couple on Ward. You know, some McCray. I got that offensive lineman that just joined the team a few days ago. Gets in there. He's in on the penalty action. It was a mess, you know. And by the time they had fouled Baker with 3 interceptions on the day, really the first play of the game, he got away with one. You know, the first interception he threw, Bayer just made a good play, and then by that, you know, the last 2 really. Not to make excuses for Baker Mayfield interceptions, but, you know, they were losing at that point. It was getting late in the fourth quarter. It seemed like he was just trying too much. One he threw to Landry, he was just covered. It's like, fuck it, I'll throw it to him anyhow. But it did start out great. The first drive of the day, Browns march it right down the field. Pull Chubb, though, once they get inside the 5. Give it to Hilliard for the touchdown. And then I guess the sign of things to come, that maybe the Browns have not quite turned the corner. They missed the extra point, making it 6-0. You know, the defense played all right early on. You know, the Titans weren't doing a whole lot. They did manage a field goal there in the first quarter, made it 6-3. Baker took a couple of sacks on the Browns' second drive, and then that's about when the penalties took over. They just never got any flow. At one point in the third quarter, they did start to get a little bit of a flow. I think Nance or Romo, one of them even joked that, wow, we've had 6 or 7 plays here without a penalty. And that is about how ridiculous it was. So after the Robinson ejection, the Titans did score a touchdown. Henry had a touchdown, made it 10-6. Then Robinson gets ejected, and it just seems like, oh boy, here we go. We're really losing control now. They get a safety. Baker sacked in the end zone. That one, you know, hung on to for a while. Cameron Wake somehow still effective in this league. Got the sack there, although this Browns offensive line, pretty pitiful. Looking really bad today. So it's 12-6. As bad as the Browns played, it was only 12-6 at halftime. Things really just got worse. Tennessee comes out. They get the ball. They hit a field goal, making it 15-6. Then the Browns, now this is about the time, I guess, maybe that first or second series of the third quarter, and Njoku gets a touchdown. What's that, man? It's 15-10 at that point. They did get the extra point through the uprights. Congratulations there. But then Tennessee turns right back around. A screen pass to Derrick Henry. He takes it all the way, 75 yards for a touchdown. 22-13. That's when then Byard had the nice interception of Baker when it looked like maybe the Browns had a little something going, even though there was a couple of penalties trying to hold them back. They get the ball to midfield. That was interception number 1. Of course, they just turned that into a Delaney Walker touchdown. Repeat. Interception, Baker Mayfield. Touchdown, Delaney Walker. That made it 36-13. And then finally a pick 6. Malcolm Butler runs it all the way to the house. 43-13 final score. The Browns run it out there for one final series. Give it to Chubb a few times. Couldn't even manage a first down. Ended pitiful. Started strong. The extra point being missed. Chubb had a few decent runs on the day, though. Once, you know, every now and then the offensive line would look like they know what they were doing. He'd bust off an 8-12 yard run. Beckham, 7 catches, 71 yards. I think Baker ended up with 285 yards. The 1 touchdown to Njoku. Higgins looked good early. I think Higgins went out with an injury. Their backup left tackle, Lamb, whoever the hell's ever heard of that guy, he went out with an injury. That's when the right tackle moves over to left tackle. Bring in this McCray character. It was all just downhill from there. Other than Henry and Delaney Walker, the Titans, you know, Mariota didn't play bad, but, you know, he doesn't strike fear into you. Derrick Henry looks like something, though. He's a player. He's fat for, you know, as big as that guy is. He didn't look like he'd fly, but he just outran everybody. He looked like maybe a little bit of loafing on the 75-yard touchdown, but... And I think the new rules on replay were in effect there. It's like they were looking for some kind of illegal block or something. There was no penalty called on the play. He goes 75 yards for the TD, and then they reviewed it. It's clearly a catch and touchdown. Never went out of bounds. All right, the Ravens did their thing. Boy, I know they were playing the Dolphins, probably the worst team in the league, though. Lamar Jackson, 59-10. I think he had 5, maybe 6 TD passes. Bengals and Seahawks now. Steelers later. All right, well, that's week 1. 0-1 again. It's unbelievable. This is a different kind of disappointment. Sometimes it's just, I don't know. There is a difference in disappointment when it comes to being a Cleveland Browns fan. But it's not all lost. I'm assuming they're not going to have 17 penalties every week. Hey, now, who we got back there? All right. Fox. All right, guys. Boom.